Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we're getting a good gander at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. My name is Breakaway Ray. Thanks for joining me today. It's February 26, 2026. This is a live tarot throw. This is a tarot show, and there's a tarot lesson embedded in the lesson today in the presentation. We have another tarot lesson. If you're familiar with tarot, I'm exchanging notes with you because I'm coming up on 1 year of practicing and learning about tarot. And I want to share what I know. And there's some of you out there who are interested in tarot. I want to show you what I did to learn how to throw tarot cards and interpret their meanings. So we're going to start off with something called Pan-Seared Tarot. I have the directions/recipe down below. And then after I do Pan-Seared Tarot, I'm going to do something that regular STARCARD podcast viewers and subscribers know I don't like to do. I'm going to throw tarot cards for myself. I find it spooky to throw the cards for myself because the tarot cards always seem to hit the nail on the head. It still spooks me that, it can be so accurate, at least for me. At least that's the way I read them. And then, of course, after I do that spooky thing where I throw tarot cards for myself, all in an effort to demonstrate and to share a lesson on how I interpret tarot cards, then it'll be time for tarot for the audience. I expect that's going to be about 30 minutes. If you are joining me live right now and you're in the chat, I encourage you to go up to the top of the chat, check out the instructions that I left. I left a couple of examples of how you can request a tarot reading. And again, we're going to check the chat in about a half an hour or so. So this way we can make sure we got everyone's reading requests lined up. If you have a name tag, I'm going to pull it out. And if you're new and I don't have a name tag for you yet, I'm going to get you a shamrock. Okay. So hang in there, everybody. We're all going to have fun today, like we do every day here at STARCARD Podcast. Let's not wait any longer. Let's go to the tarot cam. Thanks for joining me, everybody. You can see it's an unusual time of day for me. We have a lot of daylight out. So I don't have to fuss around with electric lights. So we're going to start with something called Pan-Seared Tarot. And the first step is to set the table. And I've written the expression tabula rasa, which is, to clean your mind. Now, you may have things on your mind, but you do need to organize a space like it's a dining room. And you need to set that table so that you could throw the cards out. And I'm talking like in your imagination. You have to allow room so that tarot cards go down on the real table that you're using. They also have a space in your mind. Okay. You're allowed to have those other guests at the table. Maybe there's that, associate from work that's sitting at your table mentally. Maybe there's someone in your family or a friend that's sitting at the table mentally, and they bring with them whatever their dynamics are. You know what? You don't have to have anyone at your dinner table while you throw tarot cards. You could say this is a private session. In fact, I encourage it. So I'm giving you an example right now of how you take the energies that are already flowing around in your monkey mind. You're taking that chatter and you're learning to separate it. Okay. So this way you could focus again on the messages that the tarot world is sending you, which leads to the next point, which is you have to have faith. It is the next point, isn't it? So you have to trust that whatever card you receive, we're going to start with one card. We have to trust that the spirit world is sending us some kind of message with that one card. And whatever it is, we have to figure it out. We have to interpret it. If you're new to tarot cards, okay, it might be hard at first. You might have to look up in the little handbook what it says. Maybe you'll be as wise as I am, and you get to use cards like this that have the words on them. Somehow I pulled out the King of Pentacles right off the top, okay? But these have the words right on them, so that can accelerate your learning and accelerate your study. And then it's not enough yet. I mean, especially if you're just starting out, everyone, and you don't have a strong bridge of communication with the spirit world, you will need to have a notebook, okay? It doesn't matter to me if you don't like writing. You have to script out the dialogue. Let me see if I have an example I can share with you. I have it in another notebook. Longtime viewers know that I have exactly 3 notebooks that look like this, and I've demonstrated this before. But the point is, what you would do is, let's say you get one card. Let's pretend it's that King of Pentacles. Okay. You can write King of Pentacles, put a box around it, make it look like a rectangle, like it's a card. Okay. And then you can write down the meaning of the King of Pentacles. And then here's where you get to have fun and use your imagination. And spiritual scientists understand that what you're really doing is channeling. But again, you're using your imagination. You're saying, why would the tarot world, why would the spirit world, why would my spirit guides all send me this card? What message is it trying to remind me about? And then you can draw those concepts in from the tarot card into events in your real life. And maybe you'll say, wow, what a synchronicity. What a synchronicity. That kind of thing was on my mind. I do have some kind of foot in the door with the tarot world, or this is just an incredible coincidence. Of course, it's not. When you're throwing tarot cards, you're taking synchronicities and you're channeling them so they cascade onto your notebook to help you better understand the world around you. So then you don't get so immersed in just the things that we see and the things that we go through in our daily life, our workaday world. Okay, there's a whole lot more to it, and you don't have to save it up for Sunday morning, to pray. Okay, you can do tarot anytime. So I mentioned, cleaning the palette. Okay, and then when we're going to throw our one card, we have to determine the intent. Now, it's very easy to say, while you're shuffling the cards, maybe you want to close your eyes so that you can, again, have that clear mind, have that clear palette, and you can request a card that relates to a certain subject is on your mind. But in our case, for demonstration purposes, we're going to go right to just a general intent, okay? Then I'll show you what I mean by this. But, after we turn the card and we write down in our journal, as it were, what it means, what the tie-in is, what we're learning by having this conversation with the tarot world, okay, we might add a tarot card to enhance the flavor, okay, to help us see a different kind of chemistry. Maybe the tarot card is going to throw us a card that will relate to this and enhance the flavor. Like the two parts together will create a different story, a different chemistry, okay? And then, of course, now that you've seasoned it, now that you've seasoned the meaning, you have to amend what you wrote in the notebook. And eventually you're going to get to a point where, after a lot of practice, when you see the cards, you don't have to look it up. It comes up with, you come up with little expressions for each card so that you have like your own dictionary for the card. And it turns out to be like rather effective. It's very, very good batting average, maybe in the high 800s or 900s. Everyone knows that that's like fantastic. So we're going to add cards and then we're going to present it in our plate. Okay. And then, by the way, I'm sure that people recognize this if you're a long-time viewer, but every time I throw the cards and I get a message, I usually say, thank you, Tarot World. I mean, they went out of their way to send that message to us. And I feel bad when I don't. And in fact, even in all my notebooks, every time, no matter what the message is, and I might have written like a page and a half in an hour, and I might have been really going for it and getting emotional. At the end, I'm still going to say thank you. Okay. Because I could not have had that conversation. I could not have fleshed out those thoughts and taken a look, observing my emotions. If the tarot world hadn't sent me that message in the first place and gave me a chance to communicate with someone when I didn't have anyone else to talk to. And I want to point out that when you're throwing tarot cards, aside from the fact that you can invite in your ancestors and spirit guides to join you, it is more or less you and your higher self, right? You're accessing directly from the ether, from the Akashic record. This is live and current information, and it's all about the whole plan because there is no time outside surface planet Earth. Time is different. So we already know what's going to happen in your life and what's in the book of life for you and all the previous and concurrent and future lives, you have. So don't forget to say thanks as much as you would. I know I've said this in another show before. In the olden days, we used to go to the library, and an esteemed member of our community was always a librarian. I sure hope it's the same case. I definitely respect our local librarians, whether they're in schools or in the public library. But when you go to a librarian and you're asking for help, you're seeking knowledge, even if you have a child with you or whatever, you stop everything. You give this human being, this esteemed librarian, your attention because you're asking for their help. It doesn't matter that they're getting paid to do it, okay? How do you want to be treated? So anyway, make sure that you're understood the first time, compose yourself, ask your child to wait 90 seconds while you make the query, and then let the librarian go, do her stuff or do his thing. Okay, and then, of course, when they're all done, don't forget to say thanks. You know, if someone came to your house and asked you for some help with something, okay, you would sure feel much better if they left saying thank you. I think that if they left your house after you just helped them and they didn't say thank you, maybe you'd be like me. I'd be worrying and wondering the next couple of weeks, you know, what's up with that person? Whatever happened to manners and courtesy? Okay, I went out of my way. Anyway, I'm getting a little carried away. Let's go ahead and we're going to throw a general reading. It's Pan-Seared Tarot. Here we go. Now, here we go. Because I'm asking for information, I'm going to use the classic cards with the Rider-Waite imagery because it has the words on the card. So I'm going to get a lot of information here. Just from one card, there'd be a whole bunch of words on it. So here I go. Let's give this a toss. I know the tarot world has been paying attention. I mean, I woke up this morning without a quote unquote lesson plan, and now I have one. I'm sure I didn't come up with it by myself. Thanks a lot, tarot world. So here we go. How about a general reading? You may throw a card for all of us. It doesn't just have to be for me. Something that we can all identify with, please. Is there, yeah, again, we're talking about the STARCARD podcast audience. And, you know, what goes through the mind of people who watch STARCARD podcast? Why don't you check the description to today's video and see some of the subjects that are covered and the links that I leave in virtually every live tarot throw. Here we go. Tarot world, please give us a card to start with. Our tarot lesson, Pan-Seared Tarot. I always like to close on a bridge shuffle. Here I go. All right. Now, I shuffled the cards, and this top card must be there for a reason. And I know the tarot world heard what I had to say. And again, just so you know, my eyes are closed. I'm not even looking around my room and at all the distractions or whatever. I'm strictly focusing on whatever that card is. I trust that there's a message there, not just for me, but for all of us that we can build upon. The Six of Cups. So let's read what it says on the Six of Cups. And that'll conjure some ideas in your mind. And let's see where we go from there. The Six of Cups. Familiarity, happy memories, reminiscing, childhood memories, innocence, joy, and nostalgia. If I turn the card sideways, it also says movement, balance, solutions, harmony, healing, empathy. What does it say over here? Anything? Well, okay, you know what? Hey, everybody. So for me personally, people have heard this. I used to be a teacher in an elementary school. And so a card with children on it obviously is going to ring some bells for me. But we can all reflect on our own childhood, or better yet, have nostalgia for happy memories. How many times have we heard that building on our happy memories, building on what we love, using that emotion, that's where we can start constructing our manifestations, because the universe wants us to succeed. The universe wants us to be happy. Okay. A lot of times happiness means shedding things that are not aligned with us anymore. Maybe they were one time even, but it's good to let them go. And it's kind of like sending a kid away to college. I'm not a parent. I've never done this before, but you know what? You don't want your child to leave home, but at the same time, you see it's time for them to go. And you know, what a blessed, wonderful, happy time it was having that child in the house. All right. But now the proof is in the pudding. That child's got to go out and go find his or her own path. And thank goodness you were there to support them in whatever way, you know, the universe needed you to. Good job. All right. So it sounds like it's a manifestation message. It's reminding us that we all have something that we can build upon. We may feel miserable, and a lot of us, well, I'm not going to say a lot of us. I bet that there's some of us, because I've been there, where we like rehearse and we practice and we don't want to forget what we're bitter and upset about. Anyway, that's not what gets manifestation done. It's building on our joy. That's what keeps us aligned to our soul's path. Okay, so pretty nice seer on that one card. And I would have written down some sentences summarizing those thoughts. But because we're on camera, we're going to go on with the show. I feel like one more card is going to enhance the flavor of what we just talked about. And I don't even know if we need 2 cards, but we'll go with one more. I'm not going to pull off the top. One of my favorite things to do is to fan. I just like the way it feels. You know, check it out. My one hand gets to touch all the cards. Oh, okay. How about that? I think I'm right about just pulling one card. So let's read about the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands, energy, passionate, inspired action, adventure, fearless, and impulsiveness. So it sounds like the tarot world is encouraging us, like we were in the right direction by building on what we love for our manifestations, okay? Keeping ourselves aligned with our soul's path. And it's like a confirmation. Yeah, you're riding the right horse. You're going in the right direction. And I'd like to point out in the picture of the Knight of Wands, there are the Egyptian pyramids. Okay, that's old school Hermetic sciences. All right, so this may indeed be a very strong connection to our Akashic librarian. I want to say thank you to the tarot world. What a delicious presentation this has been. What a wonderful lesson. So I'm going to give these a toss, and then I'm going to share more about what you can do with your notebook and tarot cards. And I'm going to have a public viewing of a personal toss. So here we go. Let me trade things. So I'm gonna pull out my notebook. I mean, my notebook would have been out already, right? And for myself, I'm going to go with a different set of imagery, but still a classic deck called the Robin Wood deck. And then here's what I got going, everybody. I could throw some cards. Hang on. You know, I want to know what's going on with my home. I want to know what the tarot world has to say about money. Okay. Or how about work? Maybe, I don't know, people keep telling me there's like a spiritual world. Should I ask the tarot world about that? And then, you know, maybe there's a personal thing going on. So what I could do is I could throw a couple of cards for each of these subjects, and I can even blend them. Like, for example, for me, I got some work issues, okay? But what I'm going to do now is my work might become quote unquote spiritual. So I might combine, like I would 2 tarot cards, blending their chemistry. I'm all, what's going on with the STARCARD podcast? I might throw some cards right there. I'm going to ask the tarot world to share information about my home. And you know what? I'm just going to pause so I can examine these messages first before I explore these 2 if I do, okay? And, you know, the messages that the tarot world sends me, I'm going to be careful. I mean, I don't have to tell you exactly what's going on, all right? You know, my business is my business. I'm doing this for demonstration. So, all right, tarot world, you know, hit me. I get all the inside jokes, tarot world. I don't have to share everything with the public, but I just want to show them how I would do it. You know, if this helps someone, you know, saves a couple of $100, they don't hire a psychic, they can learn to do it themselves. That's great. Imagine if all of us were all aligned with our soul's path. That would be so amazing. So, okay, wait. You can see I'm talking about other things. I want to make sure I got my intent straight. Hey, Tarot World, I invite you to throw some cards about what I'm doing at StarCard Podcast and what's going on here at my house. Thank you. Well, you know what? You saw it, everybody. You saw it. When I asked about the StarCard podcast, this card popped out. It's the Empress card. I think everyone who's been watching this month in February knows that the Empress is one of my heroes. If you go to the playlist at StarCard Podcast, you see I even have a playlist called 5 Days with the Empress. Yeah, so what the Empress could be saying about my spiritual work is that I'm processing a lot of things, and I am doing it out in the open, just like I said I am. And I'm showing people how I would, adjust energies that don't seem to be agreeing with me. And I'm empowering others perhaps by demonstrating it. I mean, how many of us learn how to do things just by watching a video on social media that shows us how to do it? All right. So that's why I didn't throw any other cards. Once I saw the Empress fall down, I'm all, I don't need any other answer than that. Okay, it sounds like I'm on the right path. You wouldn't present me as the Empress, if I was not on target. You would give me some kind of other card. Meanwhile, what did I say? Oh, yeah. Now, I didn't tell anybody what's going on with my home, although I've intimated that things are disorganized. I like to call it disarray. Anyway, let's see what these three cards have to say about my home. Oh, wow. Whoa. Look at these cards, everybody. Don't look too hard at the Judgment card. That's why I'm covering it up. We have two of the most powerful cards related to the subconscious and basically finding your soul's path and manifestation. We have the High Priestess over here. She is so powerful, and she's like an undercover spy because no one realizes just how powerful she is. And then you have the Hermit, who's he sees a path that no one else can see. And guess what? Underneath, it's the Judgment card, swapping out the old for the new. Whoops, sorry. I mean, I want to show you the card. I guess I'm not supposed to. Well, for me, I mean, I guess anyone else would agree with me. When you see the High Priestess and the Hermit, okay, you're on the right path. It's more than just, a whim or a coincidence. This is a spiritually aligned, sounds like ending and a welcoming in of a new beginning. So anyway, I gratefully accept these messages, and I ought to not push my luck because I ought to quit while I'm ahead. All right. I mean, I could ask about those. Why not? I mean, yeah, these messages didn't hurt because it was a lesson. So that's great. Thank you, Tarot World. Well, maybe there's something you want. Yeah, I guess the audience wants to see it too. What's up with Breakaway Ray's personal life and his bank accounts? Would you care to comment on those, please? I mean, as long as we're doing this, I really trust you based on what you did before. I know that this will be helpful and rated G, and I'm not going to cry on air. So, Tarot World, as long as we're in the groove, could you please share with me to share with the audience, what's going on in Breakaway Ray's personal life, and what about his financial situation? Thank you. Personal life. Financial situation right off the bottom. Wait, there's one more coming. Wow. All right, here we go. Let's check it out. You know what? Let's do the financial thing because that feels like the vibe that I'm in right now. Wow. Whoa, excuse me. Whoa, hey, easy. Right now, you don't see it, but I'm making the sign of the cross. Everyone has financial concerns. Check out these cards. First of all, it's the Lover's card. And the Lover's card means to me that the spirit world is not just sending a message, but the spirit world is totally like giving me a hug and holding my hand in this particular domain. And look, it's even a message that the spirit world and / myself, we're all in control. It's the Emperor's card. And, if you want extra flavor, come on, Breakaway Ray. It's the 9 of Pentacles. It's the fruits of your labor. I do the math almost every day and it's a little bit unbelievable, but again, the cards here are verifying it. I'm glad they're doing it on air. Thank you, Tarot World. I'm feeling really relieved. All right. Maybe there's something you want to say about my personal world that I'm also not recognizing. I'd be happy with a confirmation. Here we go. Oh, how nice. We got the Four of Wands and the Knight of Wands. We just had the Knight of Wands on the other throw, right? The Knight of Wands. Charge forward energetically. You're going in the right direction. Old school Hermeticism. Manifest everything. You can do it, Breakaway Ray. Look, the Four of Wands. It's the homecoming and the celebration. Yo, I see I got a dance partner. All right. A lot of good news. It's a lot of good news for Breakaway Ray. Whew, I'm so relieved. All right, so I'm going to give these cards a toss. And now it's time for, thank you, Tarot World. Time for tarot for the audience. Happy to throw cards for you. Might as well get it while I'm in a good mood. By the way, were those crisp, clear messages from the Tarot World? Okay, let's find out who's in the chat. Okay. Capital letters are going to be really important today, I think. There's a lot of messages in the chat. I realized that yesterday, after the show, I read the chat. I feel like I missed some requests. Not people, but their actual queries. I'm going to try harder today. Here I go, everybody. Oh, okay. It's not as many. Hello, Puck Elf. Thanks for being here, Puck Elf. You're the man. All right, let's see who else is here. Hi, Kimberly Bamford. Thank you for coming in. You awesome keyboard warriors. You guys are kingmakers. Right on. You're cool. All right. Who else is here? Hi, Namira. I know I like that photo too. Thanks a lot. Hi, Lisa Talcott. Hey, Arwin. Great. I feel like I made a name tag for you, but I'm going to make you a shamrock. I don't know if I still have it. Salama. Welcome back. I've been thinking about you. I hope everything is well. And there we go. Yes, a March reading. You got it, Salama. Okay, so let me get out the name tags. I'm going to have to play that part of the video back for me, for myself over and over again. Like if I start doubting, I'm going to go to YouTube and press play again. All right, let's get these name tags out. All right, Puck Elf. There's Namira. Got it, Namira. It's still February, so I still have some hearts. But I do have... Hey, Punxsutawney Phil says that Lisa and Kimberly's snowmen have not melted yet. I wonder if those are like magic snowmen. I mean, Frosty was kind of magic. Okay. I think so. Yeah, hang on. Yay. All right. I got you, Salama. I said I was going to make you a shamrock. Okay, I'm going to do that too. Okay, so I also have to make one. There's somebody up at the top. Oh, and Ellum is here too. Hi, Ellum. Can I make you? Okay. Okay. Now there was someone I said hi to up at the top, and I want to make that person a shamrock. Arwin, there you are. Wait a second. Did I? All right, Arwin, here we go. got Namira. All right. Thanks for being patient, everybody. Gee, thanks for inviting me to read. It's good practice. I'm not as spooky when I do it for you. Even that was spooky. Anyway, let me show you who I got. I got Arwen, Lisa, and Kimberly. Hey, Salama. One for February, one for March, right? This is your March story. So maybe we'll do a little double timeline for you. Namira. Here you go, Elam, AA, and Puck Elf. We're going to lead off with Puck Elf. He's been standing by since before we turn on the camera. And I guess people, we're doing good on time, everybody. So if there's somebody who's joining, I want to say there's room for more requests, especially if I missed you for some reason. I want to go upstairs. Puck Elf, I saw you left a lot of messages. I don't know if you actually left a particular request up there. I think I'm just going to throw 3 cards for you, if that's cool. I'll just quickly check and see if there's any capital letters for me. Okay. Okay. Kimberly Bamford, stained glass. Let me get that out. Way to go, Kimberly. Stained glass. Okay. Oh, Lisa. So, I'm laughing at myself, Lisa Talcott. I'm reading the chat, and Lisa Talcott sent me a very fair question, which might have come from the lesson, which is appropriate to do, right? If you want clarification, you raise your hand, you ask a question. So here's Lisa's question. Before you throw tarot, how do you protect yourself from any low vibrational energies as you're doing your session? Thanks. Faith helps, right? After repetition and you have confidence that a higher perspective is sending you positive, encouraging messages and showing you a light, that helps. And then how do you get there? You have to, well, what I do is I would have to like sequester my thoughts, right? Like I realize that I perseverate. I recognize that. And if I realize that I'm perseverating on a thought, at some point I have to come in like the adult in the room, and I have to help the person who's perseverating put away what's on the desk so that we get ready to move on to the next activity. And, we just have to set it aside for later. It's a project we can pick up later. We can put it on the back burner. Okay, so that helps. And then I don't mind sharing this part at all. I mean, as long as I'm being totally open on the internet, everyone can see it. So one thing I do before I turn on the camera, before I, I mean, I know, I try to look good and I dress up. I don't want like a piece of lint on my shoulder. Okay. I know that in a program just last week, there was something on the floor the whole time. You can't clean up the floor, Breakaway, right before you turn on the camera. Anyway, but before I do all that, I do say some prayers. I say prayers I learned as a child, and then I use my affirmations. These are ritual affirmations. I've been using them now for, several years, almost a handful of years, maybe longer. And then another thing that I do is that 6 of Cups thing, which is why I'm glad you asked the question, Lisa Talcott. Remember, the first card we threw today in Pan-Seared Tarot was the 6 of Cups. And I try really hard to remember the things that I love and the things that make me laugh. And one of the things that I do is I have some friends that make me laugh. And, even just talking to them, every 90 seconds we're laughing about something. Our sense of humor makes us giggle like we're a bunch of 7th grade boys. You can see what I mean if you go to the Joie de Vivre playlist at STARCARD Podcast. One of those friends I'm talking about is the gentleman and his son that we had the pool party with the pool ladder. I mean, it's a 5-minute video or something, but on his 62nd birthday, we were all having a good time in my backyard. So I remember, the times I had with those gentlemen and, the backyard parties, the hanging out, the laughter, and that gets me pumped up. I mean, you're not tuning in because you want to see Moreau's Breakaway Ray ruminate and brood about what happened to his career, okay? This is a place to get pumped up. Breakaway Ray is pumped up. Let's get some of his vibe going in our own lives. What is that guy so happy about? Anyway, I hope that answers your question. Salama. Okay, yeah, we're going to throw Salama a March reading. Hey, and Danica Crabtree is here. So Danica, I'm going to grab your name tag, and then I'm going to start throwing tarot for the audience. Okay, where did I put all those name tags? Thanks for joining me, Danica. Wow. All right. So I think I'm going to make you one. Oh, yeah, I made you one. Yeah, you got a schoolhouse, Danica. Here we go. Yeah, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. And if there was a way to send this video back in time that I could show myself like 6 years ago, and someone said, "Yo, Ray, this is you 6 years in the future," I would say, "Someone put me in an insane asylum right now. I need help. What is going on? That's too weird." All right, so we're going to start off with Puck Elf. Oh, wait, Stephanie Clark is here. Okay, Stephanie, I'm going to get your name tag out, and then I think I'm going to draw that line just as a safeguard. Okay, there's the line. Let me get Stephanie's name tag out, and then I'm going to throw everybody. Thanks for coming back, Stephanie. Yeah, we are all time travelers. Ain't that the truth? Ask Andrew Basiago. Here we go, Stephanie. Yeah, the 1970s. I'd love to share some photos with you, Stephanie. I had a cool haircut in the 1970s. Let's go downstairs. We're going to start off with Puck Elf. And then, Salama, you're on deck. Puck Elf. Hey, Puck Elf, I got the neon deck. I'm going to throw 3 cards. That's right, Salama. I'm throwing for Puck Elf, and then you're next. Cool deal. All right, so, all right, Tarot World. Thank you for those wonderful tarot cards and the great lesson. We're all having a good time today, and Puck Elf plays an important part in that. I know you have 3 cards for a special pan-seared, delicious dish for our friend Puck Elf down under. Thank you. These cards are for Puck Elf. Neon. Get out the black light. Here we go. First up, it's the 9 of Wands. That guy's like a hero. That's like Captain America coming back from a conquest. Okay. Yeah, very good. And speaking of a hero, okay. Hey, 2 of Cups. There's some kind of communication, and I don't want to get carried away, Puck Elf, but that looks awful romantic. And here we are with the 9 of Pentacles, enjoying the fruits of your labor. experience counts in the world of romance. So, thank goodness you're a master. Have a good time. Hey, Puck Elf, thanks for inviting me to read. I hope that was a good one for you too. I can't wait to read all your messages, Puck Elf. Okay, next up, Salama. You know what we'll do? We'll throw a February and a March, because then you can compare. That's another thing I like to do with tarot. Okay. If we throw a timeline for February and, you recognize the dynamics, then you'll see exactly what's coming on in March. All right. Tarot world, this is an opportunity to help Salama and to help everyone see how you've taught me to throw cards. Could we please have a timeline for Salama for her February and her March? Please show us the highest timeline. Please show us the highest, most positive timeline for February and March. The highest and most positive timeline, please, for February and March for Salama. Thanks for tuning in, Salama. We're going to throw one more. I'm calling that one. All right. I'm using the classic ones with words so we get as much information as possible. So, hey, Salama, let's see. Does this sound like your February? Wow. The Three of Wands, it's the expansion card. It's the card that says, luck is where preparation meets opportunity. You were looking out for opportunities and you have plenty of tools you're prepared to use when those opportunities come your way. It also is called the expansion card. Let's read what it says on the card for you. So preparation, progress, foresight, enterprise, expansion, and it does say overseas opportunities. Now, here's the Hierophant. He's the learned man. And this kind of characterizes you as well, in my opinion, from what little I know about you. I know that you're a very learned person. So let's read what it says here, because it has many meanings. The Hierophant, institutions, tradition, religion, society and its rules, social approval, conformity, forgiveness. It also says mercy, wisdom, and trust. Well, I kind of like that. It shows me that there's like some kind of an expansion, right? I'm thinking most positive, highest timeline. There's an expansion in someone's perspective through learning, but then you also understand that there's a lot to learn about the tools of the spirit world and our intention in manifesting something new. So here's the Judgment card, which indicates this kind of period where, an old time is slipping away and breaking down and dissolving, while for sure a new adventure is coming in. Maybe it can't come in fast enough. Okay. But it's clear that the old one is gone and we're working on a new one. So we have the right attitude. We're taking the right approach. This is the highest timeline. This offers us a chance. Well, anyway, we don't want to forget to read the Judgment card to you here. Judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption. It also says forgiveness and mercy. This one also said mercy. Anyway, you have the right perspective from my point of view. I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to keep looking for opportunities. And I know the word mercy shows up both times, forgiveness. So let's see what March looks like, Salama. Oh, wow. Yay. All right. That's more emotions than I'm supposed to have in one day. So check it out, Salama. March, the Four of Wands, celebrate. There's a homecoming card because here's the Magician card. What? Nine of Swords, sleepless nights. What's going on? It doesn't matter because it's a new adventure. Gee, March looks so promising. I could read all these cards to you, but again, this one says, all right, yeah, let's read them. let's not get too hung up on this. We're going to turn this card upside down, Salama, okay? Because you're not going to go here if you have a sleepless night like this. We're going to turn that upside down. But let's read what it says. What a great March beginning. Celebration, joy, harmony, marriage, home, community, and homecoming. There's some kind of magic, and you're the one that's creating it. And the thing about the magician, he's got all the tools, the cup, the wand, what are the dish, the radiator, whatever he's got all the tools. But the thing is with the magician, it's all about timing. Okay. So it's the right time. You might as well celebrate, right? This whole adventure ended up here. This whole adventure ended. Okay. What it was, we learned our lesson. We have perspective on it now. It's like it's somebody else's life because now we're celebrating. Something's coming home. The right magic happened. The magician, action, creation, manifestation, power, self-confidence, clarity, willpower, skill, and creativity. Skill and creativity. What's going on with the Nine of Swords? If we got all this going on with us, why are we still worried? What's there to worry about? Here's the new adventure we're looking for. Are there going to be problems? Yeah, you're smart. You're the magician. You see them coming, but you've made magic happen before. You birthed this new adventure. So, now that you woke up early and you drove all the way to the amusement park, have a good time. Okay. There you go, Salama. Good luck. We're all rooting for you. Thanks a lot, Salama. I really appreciate you tuning in and requesting a reading. Yeah, the tarot world's on fire, according to Salama's feedback there. You are very welcome. Hey, let's throw some neon cards for Kimberly. And then I got Elam on deck. I bet Elam has a good question. I'm going to have to double check. Or maybe Elam wants to drop it in there. Stained glass for Kimberly. Here we go. My first deck. Yeah, right on, Elam. Good. Cool. All right, here we go. Kimberly Bamford. I want you to imagine that I'm wearing like a vest in a casino in Laughlin, Nevada. I got a name tag and my name Breakaway Ray. It virtually fills up the whole name tag. It's like too long. And here you are. You're at my tarot table. Everyone's cheering you on because in this casino, the querents always win. Okay, so these cards are for Kimberly. How about a fun, inspirational message that makes Kimberly feel like a lottery winner, please? Here we go, Kimberly. Well, no, we got to have a 7. Not going to close on a 6. 7 cards for Kimberly. Here we go, Kimberly. First up, it's the 4 of Wands. Hey, what is the tarot world throwing out 4 of Wands cards for everybody today? It's the homecoming card, the celebration card, joy and family. Wow. It looks like they're in a greenhouse, but at the same time, it doesn't. What an intense garden. Look at all the intense growth there. Next up, it's the Queen of Cups. Welcome to my home, said Kimberly Bamford, holding up her favorite beverage. Enjoy refreshments. Festivities will start shortly. You're throwing a party or something. And here's the 9 of Wands. There was a lot of work putting those tiki torches in the backyard and getting everything set up, organizing for the guy with the taco cart to come in. But it's going to be a good party. It's going to be a full moon, and it's going to be a full moon during the day, apparently. It's going to be a perfect sunset party, perfect barbecue. Barbecue at Kimberly Bamford's house Friday night. Oh, yay. And that's because Kimberly is the magician. She's making it all work. She's making it all happen. Wow. So the 7 of Swords, Temperance, and the Knight of Wands. Now, the 7 of Swords talks about there being a revelation, I'm going to say. So I don't know if this party is going to be some kind of a surprise. Are we planning a surprise for someone? because the temperance card says you sure play it cool. No one knew you were up to this. Anyway, well done. And you're being cheered on here. The Knight of Wands. These are two cards we keep on seeing today. The Knight of Wands and the Four of Wands. It's the right attitude to have. You know what? We're going to go into it thinking it's recess time. We're going to go have fun. And then you know what? When the bell rings, we got to go back to class. We're going to maintain that attitude. Everything is fun. Okay? As long as our eyes are open, it's fun. Right on, Kimberly. I hope that was fun for you. It was fun for me. Thanks a lot. Thanks for inviting me to read it, for tuning in. Yeah, you're welcome, Kimberly. Thank you. And Lisa, I gotta tell you, I don't really know about that movie. It's not a movie I've seen. I've seen snippets, but it's not my thing. Which reminds me of the show Friends. That's another show I've never seen. And I never saw Seinfeld until years after reruns were in syndication. Because I really guard my intake for I didn't like ska and punk music until 20 years after I was already in the heart of it. I was hanging out with Peter Feinstone from Bad Religion. Anyway, let's go for Elam's question. Let's scroll up and see if I can find it. Okay, so I see it now, Elam. Okay. I tell you, I feel like I'm quite a different kind of a person. Everyone knows my personal social experience has been kind of different. But anyway, I'm going to focus on Elam's question. So here's the situation. Elam encountered somebody, and now Elam wants to know what was going through that person's thoughts, feelings, and opinions going forward based on that encounter. I hope I got that straight. I think the tarot world understands. So, hey, there's Elam. She's bumping into this person. What are the ripples from that encounter? Was there a large impact, and what was the impact? How great was the impact on a scale of 1 to 10? How great was the impact, and in what direction was it sent? Scale of 1 to 10. What was the flavor of that impact? Okay, let's see, Elam. Let's check it out. I appreciate all these challenging tasks. It's certainly fun for me. On a scale of 1 to 10, a 3. Is it a coincidence that it's the heartache card? Maybe it would be disappointing to hear that it's not a bigger number, huh? Maybe we wanted to have it, have it be more consequential. I'm not sure. Well, so here's what I would say. On a scale of 1 to 10, the meeting in general was a 3. And regarding the other person, we could say, I don't think this message is for the other person or about what's going on with that person, because we really are, operating for Elam here. So, but if it's the other person may have reorganized their thoughts and found some clarity on something, says the Queen of Swords, and then decided that, there's limitless opportunities and there's lots to see. And, I'm going to go forward thinking, I'm going to think in a new way about what I believe about Elam. There's a new truth about Elam that I understand now. Maybe that's it's a 3 out of 10, but every little bit counts. I think the message is different, Ellum. But tarot is multidimensional, and this is for entertainment purposes only. It's a 3 out of 10, but we can't get hung up because we need to have another look at something. You are so elegant and ravishing and pure and attractive. And there are so many opportunities out there. And this could just be one step in a long, long road where you refine your taste and you match up more in a vibrational way with the person who might, complement your environment. Maybe that's me being dreamy and being sentimental myself. But anyway, I take the cards and interpret them and make meaning out of them as you like. This is another reason why we threw these cards, that we have this lesson today. So people don't have to get Breakaway Race filter through the cards. We can speak with the spirit world directly, our spirit guides directly. All right. Hey, Ellen, that was awesome. Good luck to you. Thanks again for inviting me to read. It's so much fun. Oh, I got to scroll down on the chat. One moment. Yeah, right on, Ellen. Cool. Thank you very much. I'm going to give these a toss, and it looks like a Raven. I got you coming up next, Raven. I'm sorry, Arwen. Sorry. I know somebody named Raven. Hi, I was reading it upside down. Here you go, Arwen. Hey, Tarot World. I'm really enjoying all these cards we're throwing today. I know Arwen's having a good time. Could we please throw some fun, inspirational cards for Arwen? Thank you. These cards are for Arwen. Please show us what Arwen needs to see. Please tell us what Arwen needs to hear. I know you're going to make us smile. These cards are for Arwen. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, right on, Arwen. Wow, Arwen. Have an Ace of Cups. Let's read from the book about the Ace of Cups for you. Almost there. Hang on. There we go. Ace of Cups. It's the Bounty card. Bounty. Joy, abundance, perfection, fertility, fulfillment. Good things overflowing. Fullness. Favorable outlook. Faithfulness. Love. All right. I want to quit while we're ahead. But no, this is just the beginning. All right. Have a good time, Arwen. Woo, it's the moon, illusion, mystery, the subconscious. Wow, the Page of Cups, a happy surprise. All right. Remember those numbers that ran through your mind when you woke up this morning? Go buy a lottery ticket. Wow, the Four of Cups, it's the meditation card, the reevaluation card. Maybe there was some kind of happy surprise and it didn't look like a surprise at first. Yay, but it turns out the Nine of Cups says it's a wish come true. So let's see that again. Were we wishing for something? Well, you sent the message to the astral world and your spirit guides, and they sent something to you, and it's a happy surprise. And you were looking at it saying, this is a happy surprise. Got to clean up after it. Are you kidding me? I don't know, but guess what? It's a wish come true. It's the cup you were waiting for. And you got it 9 times what you started with. So, here's the Five of Cups card, and I'm laughing about it because the expression, don't cry over spilled milk, came to mind. Okay. those cups are down, but the 5 of Cups guy's got 2 other cups. Yo, he's only got 2 hands, so just grab the 2 cups and work with what you got, because it's great, says the Queen of Wands, when you're determined, you're courageous, and you have a zest for life. You know, it's all about perspective. So, well, Arwen, have a good one. It looked like a good one to me. Thanks for inviting me to read. Whoops. Next up, here comes Lisa Talcott. Lisa. Why don't I throw, I mean, as long as look, they're all right together. The blue of the pyramid, the blue of the stained glass deck, okay? The snowman, just like Kimberly's. We're going to throw the stained glass deck for you, Lisa. Right on, Arwen. Thank you very much. Cool deal. All right, these cards are for Lisa. Thank you, Tarot World. Great show today. These cards are for Lisa Talcott. Please show us what Lisa needs to see. Please tell us what Lisa needs to hear in your special fun way. Thank you. So these cards popped out right away. The King of Wands, the big picture guy, and then the 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles. Oh yeah, the good farmer guy. So let's take a look at these guys. So the King of Wands is the guy that overcomes all obstacles, but he's also, this is almost like a sentence, because the King of Wands sees the big picture, and the 7 of Pentacles is the one that is like a good farmer, cultivates things for the long term, and does a good job of it. Look at I like as you can tell by the thumbnail pictures on all my videos, I like mountain views. So I like that 7 of Pentacles card. It looks like he's up in the mountains there. So there you go. Oh, you know, there's a little bit more mountain in the King of Wands. He's got that bird. Isn't that a bird that's in his hand or up on a perch there, flying through the sky? That's where the bird would be. There's a connection there. That's a semantic connection. The big picture is, you know, Lisa's good at cultivating that which grows and bears fruit. So what got us there? The 5 of Wands, predicted conflicts, orchestrated drama. The Page of Swords. Let's go to the book on the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords. Vigilance, agility, insight, keen vision, service done in secret, or the seeker obtains the help of a younger person. The 6 of Cups, the Happy Memories card. I like to mention the intergenerational cooperation there. And the Knight of Wands. Let's read about the Knight of Wands shows up all day here today. Let's read up on the Knight of Wands. Sorry for the delay. I'm trying to keep my finger in the book while I find the Knight of Wands. There we go. The Knight of Wands, a journey, practical action taken in spite of distractions. It also says a change of residence, but a journey, a practical action taken in spite of distractions. You know, the 5 of Wands could be distractions, okay? We talked about the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords, I want to remind you what he said. Vigilance, agility, insight, keen vision, service done in secret. So in lots of ways, it sounds like a parent who has done so much and some of it goes unrecognized. It can feel like, the only one who saw the challenges is us looking at it right now. But in any case, look at the blessed fruit that was created from all that hard work. The big picture is it was a success. If you were in my classroom, you get an A on your report card for whatever this particular subject is. So Lisa, congratulations. Good job. Guess what? You're being promoted to the next grade. You're going to do a good job up there too. Oh, okay. So was that a story about someone else then? I'm glad this, I'm glad it all worked out. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, the feedback really helps me, Lisa, and everybody. It helps me understand how the messages are coming out, right? So I can refine my skill. Again, it's good practice. So I have 3 more left. I've got Namira, Danica Crabtree, and Stephanie Clark. So here we go, Namira. Yay, I get to use the Ethereal Bloom cards. I love using the flower cards. I'm so grateful to all of you for tuning in for, all of the show since before the show. Thank you so much. These cards are for Namira. Thanks again for tuning in, Namira. I want to say hi to all of our friends out in the Netherlands. I think I'm going to come back someday. Here we go. These cards are for Namira. The 10 of Wands. We've accomplished a lot of work. The 2 of Wands. And based on all that experience, we've created a new plan. The universe likes our plan. The universe is giving us the green light. We should go for it. Then, as you go along with all your tools, the Tower comes down. So, this is not like this is not a flowery idea, but this is the image I had in mind. And I don't play, video games, and I don't watch movies like this. But what I'm imagining is a well-prepared soldier strolling into a town with all the gear on and his compatriots. And as they walk into town, there's buildings coming down and there's explosions, but these guys are not worried because they're the stars in the action movie, and they know they make it to the end of the movie. So ain't no big deal. You're all prepared. You got a good plan. You're going in for whatever the mission is. They're sending in the best, Namira. The 10 of Pentacles is going to come out aces. Okay. Divine harmony, happiness in the home. They called on the right specialist, Namira. So the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles, let's read about the Ace of Pentacles. And then you got the 3 of Swords. Watch me turn that into a positive. Hang on. The Ace of Pentacles, pure contentment, attainment, bright prospects, prosperity, both material and spiritual. And then you have the 3 of Swords, the heartache card. I mean, this is very yin and yang here, Namira. So we might as well go like this, right? So I find that love is like a double-edged sword, For example, if you hate someone and you apply energy, I'm not saying Namira hates anyone, but I'm just saying as an example, if you're applying all this energy to hating someone and remembering why and giving yourself cause, okay, that's emotion that you could have used on the other side for love, okay, but you put yourself on the darker side of the blade. And also, people would say, they would quote the song Pennies from Heaven, when it starts raining pennies from heaven, turn your umbrella upside down. You can't have flowers without the showers. So, even though an intense love and an intense success is wonderful and rewarding, of course, there's always something that you have to contrast it with so that you can really appreciate how much you love it. I hope that was a fun reading, Namira. Thanks very much for inviting me to read and for being here. All right, I'm going to give these a toss, and then it's on to Danica Crabtree. All right, you're welcome, Namira. Thank you. Cool deal. Hey, Danica, let's go with the classic deck. I don't know if Danica had a particular question. I'm just glad you're here, Danica. I'll give these a toss. Thank you, Tarot World. Well, if you got fireworks, Tarot World, you might as well start shooting them off because there's Danica, our penultimate reading today, and then Stephanie. Like I'm telling the Tarot World what to do. They've got it all planned out. They already know how the show goes. These cards are for Danica Crabtree. These cards are for Danica Crabtree. Thank you, Danica. All right, Danica. Yay, that's a nice card to get. It's the World card. The World card, completion, accomplishment, shows over, wholeness, attainment, fulfillment, travel, celebration of life, and arriving. You just came out of the movie theater. It's dark out, so you don't have to squint, although, you know, the street lights in the parking lot are kind of bright with their LED lights. So it's a little bit unnatural. But anyway, it was a good movie. We had a good time. That adventure's over. The Nine of Pentacles, that was a rich experience. It's the fruit of your labor. Fruits of your labor, rewards, luxury, self-sufficiency, financial independence. Feels like a very satisfying Saturday morning after a successful evening out on a Friday night. Oh, sorry. Okay. Then the Ten of Swords, I'm going to say that this is more good news because it's the end of a painful episode. The Ten of Swords, painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, crisis, failure, collapse, and defeat. Wow, I'm sure glad it's over. Now we can take a breather. And now that we've recomposed ourselves and recollected ourselves here, the Knight of Swords reminds us to be ambitious, be action-oriented, be driven to succeed, be fast-thinking, and defend your beliefs. You know, sometimes, well, isn't it wonderful here on Surface Planet Earth? I'm going to share one of my perspectives. I don't know if this relates to Danica at all, but there are certainly intense personalities that we have the pleasure of interacting with. And these people are our teachers, whether we like it or not. Okay. And one of the best parts is this thing I just learned about called a friends cleanse. You know, if you ever get a chance to step aside, that's why, like, you know, when I was living as an adult in the 20th century, I would like going on vacation because it'd be a break from everybody, be a break from the regular world that I was used to. Okay. But unfortunately, be only for like a week or two. Okay. But in any case, the cards should suggest to me a story where, you know what, the experience is over and there's a richness that comes out of it because now we have stronger boundaries. We have a better idea of the right kinds of people to be around. I'm using people as an example. And now we know how to protect ourselves and to move forward. And we have to remember to move forward. We're not throwing in the towel. Okay, we're going to follow the 12 laws of karma. We're going to put ourselves in a position where we're constantly making decisions because that makes us more likely to follow our intuition. And that lines us up with our soul's path. That sounded really awesome. I'm going to have to write that down someday. So the final message here, yay. It's the Hermit card and the Six of Wands card. So keep on looking inward, okay, because it shows on the outside, Danica. It's the Six of Wands. That's public recognition. It doesn't matter that people recognize the change. The fact is you feel awesome because you're riding that awesome looking steed. And again, it doesn't even matter if anyone's looking at you because, you know, Again, it's the experience that counts. Congratulations on growth. I hope that was a fun and interesting story for you, Danica. Thank you very much. All right, Stephanie Clark. I'm going to throw some flowers for you, Stephanie. Thanks for tuning in again. All right, Tarot World, please show us what Stephanie Clark needs to see. Please tell us what Stephanie Clark needs to hear. Maybe you want to show us a King of Cups. Probably. Okay. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Stephanie. I appreciate your participation in the chat. These cards are for Stephanie Clark. All right. Thanks for the fireworks. We'll throw 7 cards. Whoa. This has all been for entertainment purposes only. This has been so much fun. Thanks for joining me today. Here we go. Stephanie, the 4 of Cups. That's the, well, hang on. Let's check the book. All right, thanks for being patient, everyone. I'm getting there. Here we go. The 4 of Cups, introspection and even discontent. Discontent with materialism. A time of introspection and contemplation. Start of self-awareness. Alternately, it could also mean self-involvement, world weariness, a search for understanding, solitude, and disregarding offered gifts. Well, there's a lot to consider. We're weighing things as deeply as we can. Everything means something if everything is a synchronicity. Everything is a gift from God. And the Knight of Cups says what I just said. It's the knight in shining armor. Everything is a gift from God. So when, I guess, is this a mindset you might have perhaps, Stephanie? Whenever anything has a shadow of any kind of shadow, we remember it all comes from God in the first place. And that's why the sun shines. Oh, yeah. Well, sorry. You didn't get the sun card. You got the devil card. The devil card says we're letting something go. So we're letting the shadow go. We start over here. Whenever there's a shadow of any kind of shadow coming on, I realize everything's a gift from God, something to learn from, something to bolster me spiritually, so that my soul is stronger in the afterlife. Okay, so we start by letting go of the shadow, and the 7 of Wands says that I can overcome all obstacles. I have the higher ground. I like pointing out that on this card from the Ethereal Bloom deck, it's the 7 of Wands, and it reminds me of a majorette, a drum majorette at the beginning of a parade. The person who throws that baton up in the sky and twirls it around, okay? But you got 7 of them, okay? I don't know how you do it. You got 2 hands, you got 2 eyeballs, but you can do tricks with 7 wands at the same time. That's how awesome you are. So you close the show. I said the show right when I said it. This is StarCard Podcast. Feel rejuvenated. Be inspired by Stephanie Clark's example. Remember that everything is a gift from the universe, even the stuff we don't always like. Okay? And then because you're watching StarCard Podcast, you can be cool like the High Priestess and work your magic, everybody, just like Stephanie Clark does. Wow. We caught the Tarot World on another great day. My name is Breakaway Ray. You made my day. Now get out there and make your own day. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time on StarCard. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.